We are a go. Hey everybody, it's Dwayne and
Lori.
and it is the Desert Farmer Podcast for the month of September 2022. Pretty exciting. September's a good thing. You know why?
It's our anniversary.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say. Yep. Exactly what I was going to say. So before we get started, I just want to say this is the Desert Farmer Podcast. So for those of you who are joining us here on YouTube, thank you. It helps support the channel. If you want a condensed version of this, you can find that on our website under the podcast tab. And again, it is a little more of a condensed version of what we're going to be talking about here today. So we need to say hi to a few folks, right? Mm-hmm. Rob, how's it going, buddy? Good to see you here. Daryl. You are consistent, Daryl. You are my reminder of Louisiana, at least once a month. Every time I see something about Louisiana, you're the first person that I think of. It's Daryl.
That's cool.
Yeah,
that's cool.
So, or when I see crawfish, that too. So, who else do we have here today?
Got Donnie.
Hey,
Hi,
how's it going,
Tempe.
Donnie? Tempe. Howdy in Tempe.
Mm-hmm. Is that Tonis?
Yeah, Tonis. Good night. Obviously, somewhere else in the world.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's evening. Well, not quite evening. I guess late afternoon for us here.
Yeah.
Not here in Arizona.
Yep, Rob.
So.
Woohoo, where's my popcorn?
That's a good question. Actually, we talked about making popcorn.
Yeah.
We need to do that one of these times.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do that here. Just
there
not today.
We have Pam.
Hey,
Hi,
Pam.
guys.
How's it going, Pam?
So y'all had some stormy Louisiana weather
Whew.
of your own. We did.
Tell me about it. Yeah, we did. And some temperatures too. I was chatting with somebody, I think in the comment section on the video we posted last week, and we were talking about the temperatures, and we were like 95, 97 and like 80, 90% humidity for a couple days, and they were actually a little cooler. They were like 90, but it was almost exactly the same. So,
wow.
Yeah. So, yeah, you definitely did.
Very cool. We have Mark.
Hey, how's it going, Mark?
Peoria.
Very cool.
And then we have Shapra.
Yep, 71.
Mm-hmm.
From
Wyoming.
where? Oh, wow, Wyoming. Oh, my goodness. Wow. So an interesting note about Wyoming that I did not know, although hopefully this is accurate, it's either Wyoming or Montana, is there's a lot of dry land farming. I know it might be Montana, but I thought it was Wyoming. But they only get like 11 or 12 inches of rain. So let me know if that's Wyoming. I know there's a couple spots where that's the case. So not a whole lot more than we do.
That's very cool.
Yeah. I got nothing else.
Robin, doing great. Tired of weed whacking the neighbor's grass out of my yard.
I know. Oh my goodness. Actually, we were doing the vlog today, and I was sneezing. My nose was running. My eyes were watering. Sitting in the garden area with all the weeds.
Oh, the weeds are everywhere right now.
No, yeah. It's funny because we complain about weeds because we don't see them very often, when the rest of the world basically has to deal with weeds on a regular basis. Yeah. So, yeah. So, all right, very good. So, couple things for this podcast today. We wanted to talk a little bit about what we're harvesting in the month of September. So, what we have not harvested in August, but is ripening now. So, we had our pink guavas. I think technically we're the end of August, although we do have one here today because we have not filmed a taste testing of that. We got our last white guava off of the tree today as well. So we'll show that to you guys if you have some time here. We are also, we harvested jalapenos.
Yes.
Right? So actually I might as well do a show and tell. So we're pretty excited. So jalapeno right there. Actually, I've got 3 of them, all pretty decent sized jalapenos. Not like mega. Let's twist that. There we go. So we planted this by seed in, what was it, March?
I think, yeah.
I think it was March. So we direct seeded those into the spring beds. They grew kind of slow in the beginning, but they took off here in the middle of summer and flowered like crazy. We didn't realize we even had fruit on there until we were picking cowpeas today. Yeah. So
I guess we just haven't paid attention to them because they're so late and we're like, probably not going to get anything.
Yeah, we just assumed that we wouldn't.
Yeah.
So, but then we saw these good sized ones. We've got a bunch of little baby ones. And so now we're going to have some spicy food tonight.
I know I'm going to add it to dinner.
You got to.
All right. So yes, very arid here, but we are zone 3. So that's Wyoming.
Yes. So that is a whole lot colder. But yeah, it's arid. So it was Wyoming.
Yeah.
Yeah. So did not know that. Interesting facts.
All right. Hello, Dwayne and Lori, Sean and Marcia in Morristown.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
We have Eric. Hello, guys. Would you like some nice, refreshing white guava?
Yeah, we're definitely not going to taste test. Although I have one here. So that is the last white guava right there off the tree. And we've gotten several dozen off of here.
There's been a lot.
A whole lot. Definitely has that floral smell. I don't smell feet in that one. But it's like overpowering the room. And then this is a pink guava. So we just started harvesting these a couple days ago.
Yeah.
Right? So this one has been in the fridge for a couple days. We had a lot of folks suggest letting them kind of ripen on the counter. We did it in the fridge. It didn't have any floral smell when we put it in the fridge, but it smells really good now. So we may have to try this one here on camera.
All right, Pam, once you get the rest of the dirt covered, no more weeds.
True.
I have not had one, but my eyes and nose are going crazy from the weeds in my neighbor's yard.
Yeah, I know. It's funny because you get that kind of scratchy throat. First thing, of course, you think of is you're coming down with a cold or the nasty, I like to call it these days. But I was getting that a couple weeks ago, like, oh, you got to be kidding me. And then it went away for a day, and then it came back for a day, and all of a sudden you realize, wait a minute, all the weeds are flowering. I know Austin was, having issues because he can get some asthma, so he was having to use an inhaler, which he doesn't have to use very often. So yeah, it's pretty nasty. We're just not used to it.
Yeah.
But you're right. Wood chips on the ground makes a world of difference. Actually, one of the things that we've got, I think, on the vlog today is some pasture time with the goats. And some of the areas on the farm and on the back of the farm that we haven't started working on yet that were covered with wood chips, but we've been using them. So there's a light sprinkling of wood chips. It actually has the opposite effect. So it's got a lot of weed growth in there, and the goats were having a blast.
Yeah, they loved it.
Yeah, so that was kind of neat.
All right, so Rob, he said he usually lets them sit on the vine till they turn red, the jalapenos.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I want to do the same. We got one little tiny baby red one. I don't know, was it like
last month
or something weird? And then thought we didn't have any more fruit. So yeah, definitely need to let a couple of these go.
Yeah,
so
there's a lot more on there.
I think like roasting some too, like some chipotle. Oh yeah.
We can do that.
I'm down for that.
All right, Marcia, I snack on our cherry tomatoes when working in the yard. So we never have tomatoes to bring in the house.
I can imagine.
All right, we have Terry. Oh, I'm on a road trip and going to miss this. Enjoy the weekend, everyone.
Oh, that's okay, Terry. Thanks for dropping in, and drive carefully.
Yes. All right.
Get home safe.
Mark ordered the sweet potato plants from Baker Creek, and they are looking great.
Oh, very good.
Really good.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, sweet potatoes. Man, we just planted sweet potatoes last weekend or weekend before. We had some last couple slips that we put in the ground, and they're already starting to go. It's crazy. Yeah, it was August we planted those.
Pam, I got a full load of mulch, and it came from a horse farm. It has been a week of smelling horse poo.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I can imagine. And I know for horse manure, my understanding is we haven't used that before. I don't know how fresh it is in there, and you probably know better than we do, but I know you're supposed to let that age for a bit. 6 months or a year, something like that. I think I'm pretty sure Daniel uses some. I can't remember for sure.
All right, Eric. I think it's, did you get hit by that nasty looking storm cell that looked to go through Wickenburg yesterday?
Yeah, so we did, but not the wet stuff. So we had a nice windstorm that came through, nice windstorm with dust, and we got all the animals put away right ahead of it.
Yeah.
So we saw it coming in, and not even a spit of rain to be heard of. So we can see it rolling in as well. And it's very common for us to see that kind of almost surround us. So it came in from the north. I saw it coming in. We put all the animals away, started getting the wind and the dust, and then it rolled around mainly to the east this time and then wrapped back down in front of us. So unfortunately, no rain. But the good thing with that, I don't sweat that too much because if it's raining in Wickenburg, it's filling our aquifer. So I'm a happy camper when I see it. And they've gotten rain almost every day for the last month and a half. So that's a good thing.
Yeah,
That's a good.
that's good. Pam, oh, it smells aged all right. LOL. And then Rob, you two gonna build a big smoker station and do a video of it. Need more vids of actual building projects. Really love them.
Yeah.
Outside kitchen.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know. So
well, we are planning to do an outdoor kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure as far as how extreme of a smoker we will go. We lit our last one on fire.
When you say we lit it, you pointed at me. Because I did.
I guess you didn't light it on fire.
I didn't light it on fire. But it
caught on fire.
It did catch on fire and burnt down pretty good. There's a little black speck on the... It's amazing. All of that soot from all that fire that we created is gone. I don't know what it is. But yeah, that was my fault. No, I don't know. We have... I'd kind of like to build a brick, almost like a brick oven kind of thing. It would be kind of neat. So we'll see. Biggest thing is time.
Yeah, the problem is that we are not very good at building things. So we tend to...
That's very true.
Yeah, stuff like that. I mean, the outdoor kitchen, we may pay someone to do it for us.
Maybe we'll film them doing it, kind of like
we
the
can
outdoor
maybe
way.
do that, yeah. All right, so we have hello from Apple Valley, California.
Ooh, very good.
That looks
Ooh,
like
apples.
John.
That makes me think of fall.
And Daryl said, discovered some wild passion fruit vines on our property,
wow.
actually growing passion fruit.
Wow, that's amazing.
That's cool.
I did not know that those would take in Louisiana. That's crazy. That was Daryl, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow, Daryl, that is really cool. So that I guess, how cold do you guys get? I mean, obviously you guys are right. You're not far from sea level, so I'm curious to find out how cold you guys get there. I don't know. Don't know the answer to that question.
I don't know.
Because we killed ours.
We did kill ours.
But dead. Fast. Yeah, fast.
Yeah. All right, we have Aaron.
Hey, what's up, Aaron?
Greetings, neighbors from Surprise, Arizona.
Yes. How you doing, Aaron? Saw your... Actually, we were watching your video.
Yeah, we watched your video last night.
On your wood chips from Prescott.
Yeah.
Right?
That was pretty creative to use the trash can to fill it.
That was pretty good. It's funny, Lori and I were watching you with that little shovel. I'm like, man, he needs a big snow shovel. And as soon as I said that, you said... If I had it, something along the lines, if I had a big snow shovel, but we're here in Arizona, we have 2 snow shovels, Aaron, specifically for wood chips.
Yeah,
so,
actually,
yeah.
I use it to cleaning out the chicken run too. When I scrape that out, I use that to scoop it and take over to the compost bins.
That is true. Yep, that is true.
So they do come in handy.
They do, especially for wood chips.
Okay, Rob said cold smoke. Heat box a few feet away from the smoke shack.
Yeah, for sure. So... I might be able to build a shack. So that's what I'll do. I'll build the shack, and then we'll build a little fire pit. I can do a fire pit. Just get those little bricks from Home Depot, then make the little pit. There you go. There's the smoke. I'll build a shack, and I'll get some PVC pipe or something to put that over there. Or some duct work.
All right, so Pam, speaking of apples, both of my trees are budding. The weather must have them completely confused.
Yeah, so we had the same thing happen with our potted apple tree. I haven't looked closely at all of our in-ground apple trees.
I haven't either.
They're growing like crazy. Mm-hmm. I mean, those things have gotten huge here over this summer. They loved that monsoon season. So did the citrus. But our potted apple tree tried to do the same thing. Mm-hmm. And then this week's heat killed those off pretty good.
Yeah.
So that's the challenge that we have right now is we went from, high humidity and, 95 or so, beautiful weather for trees to 105, 107, push on 108 last week and back down to 30% humidity. Yeah. So it fries those new growth tips. So, and we're going to get that for the next few days and then it looks like we cool off again. So that should be interesting. But yeah, I messed up the trees.
They're all confused.
Yeah, they're not used to that. Especially that much water and that cool of a temperature.
Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't have the regular summer dieback.
All right, so you have Eric. Have you decided if you're going to add a large pond for the ducks at some point?
I don't know for sure. It would be complicated because we want to be good stewards of the water. It evaporates very rapidly, and we would have to figure out how to seal the bottom. I'm worried about the ground squirrels, so I don't want to put concrete down. You can do bentonite, but my understanding is the ground squirrels will go right through that. So I'm not sure. We haven't really decided. I know for sure I want to get some stock tanks on the back, especially after seeing the water flow onto the back of the property. Get some swales with some berm set up back there. I'd like to get a desert pasture going. And obviously at the end of those to have some place for the water to dump into before it basically spills over and then back off the property. So trying to kind of figure out how all that would work. But I would like to give them more water. So
yeah, they need it.
Yeah, they love the water, obviously. Like ducks to water.
Yeah.
Literally. Yeah.
They like it.
Yep.
Daryl said 23 degrees last year.
Oh, okay. So we've actually gotten colder than that here. So we got down to 20 back in, I think, 2018 or 2019. All right. So yeah, so you're about down there with us. It's about the same.
Right. We have hello from Yucca.
Oh, hey, how's it going? Who is that?
The Rocky Dream of the Elephant Farm.
Our Rocky Dream on the elephant farm. Ooh, wait.
Sorry.
On an actual elephant?
It's like too far for me to see even with my glasses. I'm like trying to read all the way over here.
I was going to say something else, but I'm going to say you have your young lady eyes on.
Oh my goodness. They're getting worse and worse. All right, Rob, wood stove and metal piping to the shack.
Yeah.
OMG, it would be great.
Oh, yeah, that's cool. Now, actually, that would be really cool to find a wood-burning stove. We could have that with the outdoor kit. Rob, you're giving me...
Hey, Rob, do you live here in Arizona? I can hire you.
He's got the plans already.
All right, we have Alan. Hi, gang.
Hey, how's it going, Alan? Hey, you're here, buddy. It's good to see you. So, very good. So, we're all caught up. So, I think what we should probably do, since we did this at the very end, we have this pink guava over here. Should we try the pink guava? I think we should try the pink guava. I'm definitely not trying the jalapenos.
Sure. And we have had this already, so...
Yeah, so we know this one's safe. All right, I'm going to cut this tip off, but barely. Do you want the very blossom end?
To eat it?
Yeah.
No.
It's really sweet. All right, so let's get this guy cut in half without slicing off my fingers. There we go. All right, so this is a pink guava. There we go. Get a little tighter shot. I don't know if that's going to focus. I don't think it's going to. So what's really cool about these is it looks like a watermelon. So this is the one that got the pecks from the birds. I guess that's mine.
I don't care.
You don't? Mm-mm. The other one's bigger. There we go.
You're wasting time.
I know. That one's smaller. All right, so blossom in first. So this one, seeds and all, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Much better.
That's pretty good. So even the seeds. So there's a lot of seeds in there.
See, that tastes like strawberries to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It definitely has a strawberry taste, which is nice because the other one is mainly just flowers. But you still have that kind of flowery taste. The seeds, they're crunchy, but not too bad.
Yeah.
So, and you're right. I would say it probably is a little bit like a strawberry.
Yeah.
Not only the flavor, but also the crunch of the seeds.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, a little bit of the texture of it.
No. You figured out something when it comes to guava that's a little bit special, right? Because we had one of these earlier today. And what's been happening since we had one earlier today? And no, it's not gas. At least I don't know. She never lets me hear it if she does. So, I mean, we've been together, what, 26 years? I think I've heard you pass gas maybe 5 times.
Sorry, guys. Oh my goodness.
I didn't sleep good last night, so I'm a little punchy.
Oh my goodness.
And the allergies, that's not helping.
All right, let's see. Where are we at?
Well, no, you were burping guava.
Oh, yeah. Like hours later.
Hours later, yeah.
You still get that, yeah, coming up.
Yep.
Rob, well, the ground squirrels would perish after digging through.
True. Yeah, that is very true.
So that issue would be resolved. Just lots of patching of the pond.
Yeah, I know. Those little boogers, man, they're everywhere. And, I mean, we've come to the realization that we're not going to get rid of them. We try to knock the population back as best we can because they're very destructive.
Yeah.
And, we've got them digging all around the citrus. Man, they are little tunnelers, man. They are not afraid to tunnel.
All right, so we have our Rocky Dream on the elephant farm. So
Yes.
we name it after the saying, how do you eat an elephant?
Ah.
One bite at a time.
Very good. I love it. I love it. That's cool. But maybe a little baby elephant. Wouldn't that be kind of neat?
Let's see. So Rob is actually in Phoenix, near Metro Center.
I think I knew that because he was talking about that, I think, with some of the storms coming in.
Okay. And then how often do y'all water your moringa?
Well, you can answer that question because that's kind of your duty.
I usually water them about once a week right now.
Mm-hmm. And those are newly planted. We need to give you guys an update on those because
we do.
Between the potted moringa and the seeded moringa, there is a drastic difference in how those are growing. Yeah. It is like monumental difference. So we're gonna have to share that with you guys. So we'll do that soon.
All right. So Daryl, would that pink guava grow here in Louisiana?
You know what, Daryl? I think the key, we get as cold as you do. So, and the high humidity that you guys have and the nice hot summers, spring, summer, fall, is perfect for guavas because they love it here. We could definitely do with more moisture. That was my understanding as far as some of the flavor, kind of the off flavors we're getting with some of the guavas because they're tropical. So I think you'd be fine. The biggest thing is going to be protecting them in the wintertime, which is what we also have to do. They can die back to their roots and come back though. So I know some folks have done that. They do really good in the city, and the city doesn't normally gets down into the high 20s. So I don't think you would need to add supplemental heat, but you would definitely need to cover once you get down below freezing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right. And then Dwayne, there are some things we do not need to know. That is one of them. Thank you, Pam.
Yep. Way TMI.
Rob, LOL, gassy moments. Eric, her gas will smell floral, like mixed with strawberries now at least.
Oh, very good. That's
Let's
good.
see. Where do you source your moringa seeds?
Okay, so originally we bought moringa seeds off of Amazon, and they were organic Moringa oleifera seeds. They're very easy to find, and they're very inexpensive on Amazon. I know we've got one in our Amazon shop. Do use the link and then get whichever one you want. There's a lot of different options in there. You won't need many. If you can get 100 seeds, you're going to be fine. The trees themselves produce seeds. Coming back around to your question, the seeds that you see us planting here are actually from the old farm. So all the trees we have planted here are from seeds originally. And those seeds are all from the tree on the old farm that we wound up losing. So those seeds we harvested, I believe it was the summer of 2019, because we lost the tree in the winter of 2019, 2020. And so those seeds are 3 years old at this point and doing just fine. Yeah. Actually, it might have been 2018. I think I've got the dates wrong. 2018. I'm sorry. I'm off by a year. So those seeds are 4 years old, and we've had near 100% germination 4 years in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
But we originally bought them from Amazon.
Yeah.
We still have even those seeds, but we've been using the ones. All right.
And you can eat them too. So you get your tree to take, and you still got seeds left over. You can eat them.
So we had the taproot hates being disturbed.
Yes, very, very true.
Yeah.
So we did notice that. That is very true.
All right. Any tips for a good snow shovel? Is in certain types, plastic, metal?
So for us, because we keep them in the in the outbuilding, they're always an aluminum shovel. At least the ones that I've seen are always an aluminum shovel. They're from Ames. The ones we have are both from Ames. So it's a wooden handle. The shaft is wooden, and then the handle is plastic. So they're fairly inexpensive. They're very lightweight, which is great. And you can find them at Home Depot. So Home Depot and Lowe's both have them. They're not too expensive. So we have two because obviously we work on things together, and so it's good to have a couple of them. And I think we're keeping one over.
I have one over at the chicken run.
Okay, so
I use that every week.
So we'll see. So we'll see how that holds up to the sun.
Yeah.
Because that's getting some sun damage on it that the other one doesn't.
Yeah. All right. Have you done a video on tools, tractor, etc.? You use that work good.
You know what, Rob? We have it, and we need to. Do we have that on our list of videos? We haven't gotten to that list yet, but we've had folks suggest videos to do. I think that's on there. We'll have to make sure that it is, Rob. That's a good question. We haven't. We need to, because I think at this point we've got some tried and true tools. Some of them we have in our Amazon shop. Some you can't get from there. Like one of them that everybody asks us about is the spray nozzle. It's a fire hose nozzle, I think is the term for it, but we get that at Harbor Freight, and it is their super deluxe hose nozzle. It's very, very good. We leave them out in the sun. I mean, they get beat up. They get chewed on by rabbits and ground squirrels.
We have them everywhere.
We have them all over the place. We've only had 1 or 2 of them break out of probably a dozen over the last, 5 or 6 years we've been using those. That one's really good, and you can only get it at Harbor Freight. And it's like $7 or $8.
Yeah, it's cheap.
Yeah, we don't go there often, but when we do, we usually get a few of those.
I'll buy whatever they have on the
whatever's on
shelf.
the peg hook, we grab. So we got a pretty good stash.
All right, so we have thanks, and then Taylor, oh no, I'm late, I'm here. Taylor. Slam Boy, do you plant with orientation to the sun?
First of all, Taylor, how's it going, buddy? Better late than never. Glad to see you. So, and by the way, always love to see your comments. You're so very encouraging to us. Thank you. Okay, what's that?
Do you plant with orientation to the sun?
So great question. And the answer is usually. So, and really what we do more than anything is for our grafted trees, we just make sure that the open side of the graft, which is hard to describe, but it's basically, if you get a graft that's not real clean, a lot of times you'll have, I don't know how else to describe it other than a portion of the rootstock. It's kind of the rough or open end. So I usually point that north to make sure that it doesn't get any direct sun exposure when the tree is young. And eventually it heals over, so it won't matter. Outside of that, we don't pay too much attention to that unless we're going to get shading of some sort. So then if we're able to, we try to have it so that it always has east-west exposure. So they're planted north-south, if that makes sense. But it doesn't always work out that way. Mm-hmm. So a lot of times we'll plant based on how we want that to look. So if you're asking in regards to that, the biggest thing with that is obviously trees need full sun. And we don't do any double plantings on this farm, but we did make the mistake of planting east-west on double plantings on the old farm. And it severely inhibited all of the west side plants and their plant growth because they weren't getting that morning sun, which is so critical to a tree's health and growth. So,
all right, have Darlene. Good afternoon.
Hey, how's it going, Darlene?
This wind is crazy.
I know.
Hard working on planting in the heat and wind tires you out quickly.
No doubt about that. So we pretty much we're in by 9 because of that, and it's still pretty nasty. So just don't get a whole lot accomplished during the summertime because of that. But yeah, planting season.
Yeah.
I mean that is September. So we've got the seed started, and we actually did some planting. So we'll be sharing that with you guys in tomorrow's vlog. So you'll see some of that, and we have more planting end of September is really kind of when we go hard at that. Once we start getting into the 70s at night, and you're getting that 12-hour stretch of nighttime. Really helps out with those new plantings. So it's that time of year.
Yes, it is. All right, Bree, thanks for your tips and farm adventures out in here in Lake Havasu.
Oh, very cool.
Intense with heat.
Oh, yes, you are.
And a few winter months is cold with wind. Mm-hmm. What do you do about the wind with your trees?
So everybody asks us that question or scolds us for not having wind blocks. And the reality is we do have wind blocks. Those are our fruit trees. So our fruit trees are the wind blocks. So the things that we have inside of our 2 orchards, our orchards are on the east and west side. Most of our winds come from the east and or the west. Now, of course, we had the storm that came from the north that blew everything to shreds. But even with that, we only had the one tree that we lost, which was the pomegranate. And we've had some pretty strong wind gusts. You obviously get them in Havasu. We do here as well. Most times of the year, we've got pretty strong gusts, 20, 30, 40 miles per hour just about every day coming out of the west, and the trees handle it fine. What we do is we stake it on that side for the first couple of years so that it'll help with that one side that gets the strong wind that's very, very consistent until the trees are established. And then, of course, establishing the trees, how we, number one, source the right rootstock, and then also plant them high, encourage that outward root growth so they establish very quickly, prune very heavily for the first couple years in particular to keep the tree height down while the tree is establishing those roots and that solid structure. And then you get those heavy, heavy winds like we did, and we don't get trees that are completely knocked over. In fact, the trees that we had the biggest struggle with were our jujube trees that we did not top last year.
No, because they're so big.
Because they grew super, super fast this year, faster than we thought. So we're going to have to come back this winter and prune those down.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to lose those trees. They're big, beautiful trees.
Yeah.
So hopefully that answered your question.
All right. How is your new hay feeder for the goats working for you? Thinking of getting one.
Yes, it actually is really good. So you can probably say better than I can.
Yeah, no, it's working really good. It's big. So our goats are not very big right now. So Violet likes to climb inside of it. So I think as they get bigger, more as they get full grown, we won't, have them doing that. It holds a ton of hay. It's nice having the bucket underneath of it because they eat that too, so we don't go wasting a bunch of hay. So yeah, it's actually working good.
It works good. I think
it's really big.
Yeah, it's big. I think for larger animals, it would be better. So I think yeah, you got donkeys, larger goats, sheep, horses, steers. I think those animals would probably do better with it, but it's working fine.
Yeah, so. No, it's working good.
Yeah.
I had Rosie climbed in it and got stuck underneath of it.
Oh my goodness.
So she hasn't done that since.
No, hopefully she learned her lesson.
And then Violet is so small that she likes to just climb in there and eat from inside of it. But
Lily can't fit because she's a big girl.
Yeah, she's
an eater.
She's an eater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's always pretty
But it's
wide.
working good. And what we're talking about is an IBC tote that was turned into a livestock feeder that I bought from someone that makes them on Craigslist.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think if we can figure out how to kind of tweak the bottom, it's a little offset. If we tweak it and center it a little bit better.
Yeah, because one side there's more space and that's where Violet climbs in.
I think that's the only thing. So I might have to bust the welder out this winter.
Oh my goodness.
That's dangerous.
That is. All right, so fantastic. Thanks for that input on the hose sprayer.
Yes.
I have some young Moringa seedlings. How big do they need to be to up pot?
So, all right. So we up potted, I want to say they were about a month old when we up potted those. Just be really, really careful. And I would say that it's probably better to up pot them sooner rather than later because they do not like their roots being disturbed.
Yeah.
And it stunts them when you do disturb the roots. Eventually it comes back, but it does stunt them.
Yeah.
So I would say probably earlier rather than later is what I would do. Just be, again, really careful. They don't like the roots disturbed. So, if you go to a transplant, let the soil dry out a little bit before you transplant so you don't lose chunks of the soil. If you do, you may lose the tree. So that's the best advice I can give on that one. Besides direct seeding. So obviously you're going to have to, you're planning on transplanting. If you're able to direct seed a few, I would highly encourage you to do that. So, and it's a good time of year to do it.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So late to this. So sorry, this is Shannon.
Hey, how's it going, Shannon?
You already answered, but when are you starting direct sow of the fall crops? I see so much saying start now, but it just seems too hot for colder germination seeds.
Right. So for the colder germination seeds, that is true. So you asked direct seeding. So we have our starts that we started last week that are in the house on our grow lights. Those will go in the ground at the same time we do our direct sow. The exceptions, we lost all of ours. But if you're going to be doing any of your squashes, that was about 2 weeks ago. So that's usually beginning of August or so is when you would direct seed those, and they do really, really well in the heat. They sprout quickly, and they're able to sustain themselves against the heat, just not against squash bugs, which we learned, unfortunately. The rest of the direct seeding, anything we're going to direct seed will start basically end of September, beginning of October. So you kind of watch I would say what you can do more than anything is watch the weather forecast. If we're seeing, weather in the 105, 107 range, towards the end of September, you might hold off a little bit. But for the most part, by the time we hit the beginning of October, we're putting seeds in the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. How many square feet is house and outbuilding?
So our house is just under 2,000 square feet, and our outbuilding is 1,500 square feet. So we have the apron on the outside of the outbuilding, which I'm so glad we put in because we use it all the time. Chicken processing, all kinds of stuff there, and for some storage. That is an additional, 500 square feet. So we have 1,500 square feet under roof for the outbuilding and 500 square feet of the apron on the backside of it. So 2,000 and 2,000 as far as the concrete pad on both.
I forgot live.
You're here. How's it going, Abid?
All right, Rob, is your UV as extreme as it is in Phoenix? I'm finding our potted plants trees need 50% plus UV shade protection from noon to night.
Yeah, so especially potted trees. So with potted plants, we generally keep those in mottled sun. Yeah. So there's a few exceptions, like roses don't really need it, although they would do better with it. But yeah, we do as well. We're not any different from you guys in town there, Rob. I mean, it's pretty much pegged out every day. In fact, we were at RSI Growers talking to Reed, and he's real big on watching UV. He's been doing it for decades. And he was telling me the story, I don't know, 10, 20 years ago, that he would consistently see UV in the mid-single digits, and now it's basically high single double digits basically every day. So it's definitely taken a toll. Now, at the same time, trees that we have in the ground with the UV exposure are doing fantastic. Mm-hmm. So, you have to kind of work with that. The challenge obviously is going to definitely be potted trees because they're just getting baked. I mean, they're getting fried, literally.
Let's see. Is it because they are 30 to 50 gallon grow bags versus being in the ground?
Yeah, absolutely, Rob. That is the difference, especially if it's grow bags, because you're going to get some of that evaporation. We've had a lot of folks that ask us about concrete, like the concrete blocks that we have for the garden beds and the concrete planters or the concrete pots that we use for the roses and that potted apple tree that's going on, 5 years in a pot now. So those concrete pots and bricks hold up fantastic in the sun. And remember that, especially some of the older houses, in fact, Rob, near you in Metro Center, a lot of those older homes, remember, there's block on the bottom of those homes, and then they have, the rest of the structure on top of that block. That is an insulator. So, and the concrete pots have done great for us.
Yeah.
They're nice and heavy. They do insulate in the wintertime, and obviously they can insulate during the summertime as well. It's hot no matter what. The biggest thing is they don't have the ability to soak in as much water, spreading those roots out. Anytime they can put roots further out and down, they're going to just do much better in the heat and that sun.
All right, so we have Charles. Any plans to dig a cistern after all that rain?
So we've had a few folks ask us that. I don't think we don't have any plans today to do that. It's an expensive process. So, we haven't talked about the farm finances a whole lot here on the channel. We probably should do that more. But we had a very specific purpose when we came onto the farm, and we had funds set aside to establish the farm that we had been saving for literally 2 decades. So we had saved for the initial buildup of the farm, and we were very strategic with what we would spend money on because we consider it an investment, because this is our retirement plan. So those investments and those dollars went into a lot of the infrastructure that you see here. And we had the option of doing water catchment and cisterns or going with a well. Because the aquifer is so strong and it's protected here in Whitman, we decided to go with the well, and it was just less maintenance and work on our part because we knew we would be busy. So we decided not to go the cistern route with the water catchment. So going back now and doing the capital outlay, it would require the farm business to grow exponentially, which it has this year. It's got good cash flow now, but we have other plans for that cash flow. A lot of the more permaculture things that we want to do with holding water here on the farm and establishing desert pasture is more of our focus. So sorry for the long response, but it's a good question we get asked all the time. So I wanted to give some reasoning behind it. So that's the reason why we don't have that on the plans today. That being said, having a water tank or multiple on the back of the farm, especially seeing that water flow, I can tell you that is going to happen. Yeah, that is going to happen.
Just joined the stream. This is George. Can you update news on wine grapes?
Oh, sure. I mean, we just harvested more Cabernets. Actually, we do need to kind of cover this. We have our Zinfandel vines putting on new clusters. Yeah. So we're going to get a second crop of Zinfandel. We harvested all the Syrah, all the Zin. We've harvested more than half of the Cab. Right now we have 7 gallons of Zinfandel in the secondary fermenter. Yep. It was fermenting nice and strong, beautiful dark red color. It looks amazing. And we have, 4 gallons of Syrah that is also in the secondary. We need to re-rack those here over the next week or two to get it off the lees. So yeah, the second year vines, I mean, we've got gallons of wine already from those. The Cab's going to they're smaller grapes. There's not as much juice in those. So I'm guessing we're going to probably get somewhere between 2 and 3 gallons of wine off of those 2-year-old vines, which is pretty impressive. Yeah. So they're doing really good. I'm most impressed, though, with the Zinfandel. Yeah. A tremendous amount, more juice than we thought. It's why we have 7 gallons. That wasn't the plan. So, but to get that much off of those 6 vines, whew. Yeah. And that's a 2-year-old vine. So it's not even near its peak production. It's got a couple years to go before it will be. So yeah, they're doing great.
Rob, LOL, welding. This I gotta see.
Tell me about it.
Something I want to learn someday. Great skills on your own farm property acreage.
Absolutely. And thankfully, Nate taught me how to make 2 pieces of metal stick together, which is about my welding expertise.
But he had to buy a welder and everything.
Yeah, I've got it over there. I'm not going to do it in the middle of summer. It's not going to happen. Yeah. So those projects have to wait till wintertime.
Daryl said, I have 20 years of welding and fabricating skills.
Oh, wow. Daryl, so that's the key. That's the key right there.
So you need to come out and build stuff
I'm telling you, if you ever leave Louisiana and want to come to another really hot state, please drop by.
All right. So do you know about grassroots pots?
I don't. Grassroots pots. I'm assuming pots made out of grassroots? I'm not sure. That's a new one on me. I don't know what that is.
Have to look that up. Mm-hmm. All right, Marcia, we have Nigerian dwarf goats. The hay feeder may be too big. Thank you for the update.
Yeah, for sure.
It might be. Just when you're in the area or next time you're over, take a look at it and see what you think.
Yeah, just we'll pop back there when you guys come over later this month.
All right, then we have Rob. Our house is a 1959 all block.
There you go.
I get you.
There you go.
Thanks.
Yep. Perfect, Rob. I'm going to use you as an example now. When people ask me about concrete, I'm going to say, hey, wait a minute. It insulates really well.
Have you thought about swales?
Swales. Wait, where? So I just got to see what it is. Anna. Yes. Anna, absolutely. In fact, we have, at least 200 of them on the farm now. So we designed swales into all of our orchards, not only the irrigation around the tree, but we also have swales that are built in front of our grapevines. That is where we have all of our catchment that comes off of the house, goes into those swales to help water, deep saturated in water, our grapevines. And then we also have it coming down off of the outbuilding. So we have swales that are designed in front of our berry area, again, to hold the water down into the ground, allow it to penetrate further. Also, most of our heavier earthworks are going to be done on the back half of the property. I don't know whether or not you saw our video last weekend where we had a heavy downpour. Fortunately, we waited because
we haven't gotten rain like that, so we didn't know the direction it would go in.
No, so we had some good ideas based on the contours of the land, but to actually see the flow, because one of them is actually redirected. So where we thought it was going to be flowing in one area on the farm, it's being redirected because of the houses that are just across the street from us and directed it onto one corner of our property. So with seeing that, we actually kind of rethought what we're doing with the back half of the property, which is where most of those earthworks are going to wind up being.
Yeah.
Good question.
So we're working on it.
Yep.
Let's see. Good morning from Australia.
Oh, very cool.
That's Karen.
Hey, Karen. So good winter. So heading into spring for you. Very cool.
Are you no-till gardening techniques 100% organic, or you use some salts?
So we're not, so I wouldn't say we're 100% organic, because we, when we first put the fruit trees in, Reed insisted on us using that 15-15-15 fertilizer from Fertizona on his trees when we started those. But then it's all organic after that. And we can't say 100% organic because our feeds are not 100% organic, because we can't source consistently 100% organic hay. Because you can get local hay, which is very expensive, and you can't always get organic. So we've kind of just given up on that. So not 100%. So but we use organic basically everywhere we can. So all of our fertilizing is organic because it's manure from all of our animals. The wood chips, they're not organic because they're delivered by an arborist. So I couldn't tell you what is on the trees that they chip and the bushes that they chip. So the reality is we could never be certified organic. We're not even going to attempt it because we can't do it, because we can't source it all and do these the way we want to do them. So what we do is get as close as we can. So we don't spray anything, even with organic sprays, pesticides and that type of thing. Everything that we do is organic. All of our fertilizers now at this point are organic because it's all manure based. So yeah.
And then the no-till.
And then as far as no-till, yes. So the only thing we do as far as till, we do an initial till on the raw dirt because we have to. It's the only way to get seeds established. We've tried it other ways and it doesn't work. So we do an initial till and then we don't till any further. So then we just build soil on top of that. Kind of like how we have our pastures.
All right, Taylor, do you have a septic system? And if you do, how often do you need to have it cleaned out?
So we do have septic, and because there's only two of us on the septic, we had a gentleman pump our septic before we moved out of the old farm. That septic was in the ground, so we were there for 5 years, almost 5 years. The only time we had it pumped, and he said we could have gone at least another 5 or 10 years before we needed to. So we had to in order to sell the home. It was part of the deal. We wanted to make it nice and clean for the new owners. So that it's pretty rare. Now there is a clean out that you should be cleaning every year, but that most folks don't. It's just the reality of things.
All right. Hope you will not mind. Do you use evaporation meter? Based on your evaporation meter, you irrigation your orchard?
Yeah, Abid, no, we don't. So I don't take moisture readings. We don't use an evaporation meter. So we do it really. Basically, we count on our systems taking care of that for us. So the way we water, we do that deep and infrequent, no more than once a week. Back that way off in the wintertime, and then we watch the trees. So if we've got trees that are yellow, we back off on watering. In fact, that happened this summer because we were getting rain more consistently. And in the beginning, I was letting the irrigation go, and we saw one of the loquat trees starting to yellow. And so that's how I knew to go ahead and shut down the irrigation system for a couple weeks. So it was nice because we didn't have to irrigate. So so that's what we do more than anything. We also watch for the opposite. So dry, crisping leaves and browning leaves, usually a dead ringer for not getting enough water. It happens a lot of times with our figs. And so we'll go back and add water, but don't take readings from it. We watch the trees.
All right. 6 acres of improved soil with better infiltration can hold more water than a large cistern.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, and I think the biggest thing, obviously, with the cistern would be cleaner water. So you could use that for watering the animals and that kind of thing. But you're absolutely right, and that's really our goal. I mean, our goal is passive catchment, swale and berm systems, especially on the back of the property, heavy wood chip mulch. We had no standing water within, a half, 45 minutes, maybe an hour of that storm that dumped, all that water on top of us. Obviously, a lot of it flowed off the property, unfortunately, but what did stay on the property evaporated or sunk into the ground pretty fast. So, but yeah, you're absolutely right, Alan.
So I might have missed this, but what are your thoughts on the fabric pots?
So I think I am a bigger fan of a solid pot. So we only have 4 trees in pots, soon to be 1. So we're not big fans of keeping things in pots. And now we have the space, so we're fortunate in that sense. If I was going, we do have our apple tree that's in a concrete pot. I prefer a nice heavy pot. I think it does better at insulation. Also, it does better to not allow water to evaporate. So it helps, especially during the summertime. Just keep that in mind. The water's not evaporating. So you could also get root rot, especially during the wintertime. So I think there's advantages and disadvantages to both. If you're going to eventually transplant it, obviously having a lighter weight pot is a huge advantage. Those big concrete pots are extremely heavy. So, and then air. So you have airflow into the roots. So, you know, there's some advantages there. We just prefer to have a solid pot.
What types of IPMs do you use in the garden?
IPM. That's a good question, and I don't know what that is. So let me know what that is.
Let's see. What, if any, cover crops are you putting in that are chicken safe?
So well, for the most part, our chickens are eating the sweet potatoes. So that's a cover, and they eat those. They eat the cowpeas. Not only do they eat the leaves, the shoots, they also eat the peas themselves out of the cowpeas because they're small enough. So we do that. You can't really call sunflowers a cover crop, but we do those as well. So those are the primary ones. I don't think there's another cover that we do specific. Oh, alfalfa, but alfalfa is more of a perennial crop as opposed to a cover. So they will eat daikon leaves. So we did feed them the daikon leaves. They do like those actually. So those are our winter cover going back into the summer. So those are all covered right now. But yeah, they do eat those tops as well.
All right, so we have howdy. I have a large number of potted fig trees that recently have developed a pill bug infestation. Do you need to be concerned about this? The trees look okay.
Yeah, no, they're fine.
Seem okay so far.
Yeah, roly-polies, we got them all over the place. So all over in the wood chip mulch, they're all over in there. They're little diggers. They eat decaying material. So they're not eating your roots unless the roots are decaying. But we get them in the wood chip mulch all the time. I mean, there's thousands and thousands of them here on the farm. So yeah, especially your trees. They're not gonna hurt your trees. They're helping to break some of that stuff down to help feed your trees. So.
Do you have issues with ticks and fleas with the animals? If you do, what sprays do you use to take care of the situation or apply to the animals?
So I've been watching for ticks and I have not seen them. So I would want to manually do that. So we haven't had that issue with the goats yet. I'm not sure. We haven't addressed it. We haven't had to address it.
Yeah.
So, and fleas, I haven't seen fleas either. So.
Do you add any beneficial microbes or mycorrhiza?
Oh, gotcha. Is that what the IPM was? That's got to be the IPM, right? So.
Well, no, this was after. I think this was on here. IPM is, pest management, integrated pest management. You have on the farm.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Y'all rock.
Yeah. So I know for us when it comes to, but the reality is it's a good question. So two different questions. He's got a couple of them on there. So we use fish emulsion regularly, at least once a season in all of our garden beds. We do not add mycorrhizal fungi. However, we put wood chip mulch that basically holds down at the end of each season. We tamp down our cover crops and leave those to rot underneath to feed all of our worms. And so when we do that, we also do put some fish emulsion down at the same time, along with chicken manure, a very, very light sprinkling of that to get ready for the next season. As far as integrated pest management, so our goal here right now is to attract beneficials. And so we have a lot of flowering so far. We have a lot of flowering plants and bushes as best we can. Obviously our trees as well. We have birds everywhere. So which challenges us from a fruit standpoint. However, we realize that they're bug eaters and they do a fantastic job at it. So, and ladybugs, we have ladybugs everywhere, especially during key seasons when we find them. So again, back to cover crops. They love the cover crops. We always find them in there. Again, right time of year. We have very few issues with aphids. I think one of the biggest advantages we have in Arizona is we don't have a lot of pests, generally speaking. We are so hot and dry, and we're cold and dry. And so there's not a whole lot that survives that. So we really depend on that as well. So crop rotation, we don't grow the same thing in the same spot from year to year. So there's a lot of different things that we do to help manage those pests. Like we made the mistake of getting squash bugs this year because we tried to plant squash back to back. That was a mistake.
Well, and we left that one in there way too long. And,
right.
Yeah.
Yep. So we're still kind of learning with some of these things.
All right. So everybody telling us what IPM is. Thank you. I understand it is too dry in Arizona for fleas and ticks.
Yeah, I know that. I mean, ticks I know people have had, but I have not seen them. And we've got a ton of wood chip mulch, and some of it stays pretty moist, and I haven't seen it. So.
All right. Oh, thanks. In the city, the stray cats bring them into the yards.
Got it.
All right. So marigolds will be your friend.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah,
we haven't done marigolds yet.
No, not yet. So. We've talked about it several times too.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right, Daryl, gotta go. Have a great holiday weekend.
Bye, Daryl. Oh yeah, we gotta go here soon too.
Bye, Daryl.
Thank you. 4.
Pests only target weak or sick plants.
Yes, and we have seen that as well. So, and it happens. I mean,
Yeah.
the infestation of squash bugs happened on a black beauty squash that we were trying to let go to seed, and it was dying. It was dying. Yeah. So we just basically let them we did it to ourselves.
Yeah.
So yeah, we did it to ourselves. All right, guys. So I think we're coming up on an hour. We'll take any last couple questions here. But again, just want to thank you guys for joining us here today. We love getting a chance at least once a month to talk with you guys live. You guys, a lot of you guys we recognize because you comment all the time. I just want to thank you guys for doing that. It helps us. It helps the channel. So it's very important. And then obviously you guys are just very encouraging to us. We love doing this live with you guys and getting a chance to interact with you. You guys spend your guys' valuable time. I say it all the time, but the reality is the most valuable thing we have here on the planet is time. And you guys choose to spend that with us. We do not take it for granted. We really do appreciate it. So really appreciate you guys today. And remember, this will be the Desert Farmer Podcast. We'll have it up on the website, a condensed version. If you want to go back and listen to some of the questions and answers we did today, you'll be able to find that there here, hopefully within the next week, if Lori can get to that. And then a couple last questions.
Yeah, so do you grow any cannabis? It's a strong plant.
Yeah, no, I mean, we've had several folks suggest that. And we haven't. I haven't really considered it strongly. But I mean, it doesn't matter whether you want to do CBD or THC. It's legal here in Arizona. We haven't considered it strongly. No.
Squash bugs will be back early next year.
Yep. So we are going to give that area some time off. So we may just move our squash plantings elsewhere, I think, at this point.
Yeah. Let's see. Thinking to start my farm. Is it lucrative?
Yeah. So Evan, I can tell you the key with that is diversification. So, if your plan is monocrops, a lot of corn, soy, and wheat, it's very difficult to do that without government subsidies. We will not take them. We don't even do NRCS grants, which is the closest thing I would ever get to considering help from a government agency. So no, I think the key and what we have designed this farm around and will continue doing is multiple enterprises on the farm. We sell meat. We'll be selling fruit as they come up and they're running. We do workshops. We have other things that we do here on the farm to diversify our income streams. And that is your key. And then your customers will tell you. And so, we've had folks suggest things that we didn't consider. So as you build that, key is a website, gather email information. These are basic business principles, but marketing, we don't sell stuff here on YouTube, but the reality is we find a lot of our customers because we share everything here with you guys for free. Doesn't cost anything for the folks that are wanting to do this. And then we still find folks that find us because they know who we are. So, you just need to figure out those angles from a business standpoint. So market before you have something to sell. So I learned that years ago. That is the key. So find your market, sell before you have it. That way, when you have something to sell, you have a market to sell into. Most farmers make that error. they're really good at growing stuff and making stuff, and not so good at the selling. And that's your income, so you have to take that into consideration.
All right.
We good? I think we're pretty good.
Yep. See you next month.
Sorry if we missed any questions, guys.
Yeah, ladybugs. Make sure to hit the like button. Green lace wings.
Lace wings. Yep.
Thumbs up. Thank you to fantastic people you are. Black soldier flies.
Yes. Staying man, by the way, excellent questions. Thank you. And suggestions.
Yeah. Are there strings attached in grants or just principal?
Yes. So in grants, there are. So you have specific things you have to do with that money, and you have to prove that they are done. And so, so there are. If you look at NRCS, if you're going to consider grants, in my opinion, that's as close to a libertarian section of our government as you can get. And so I think they really do want to benefit farmers, and you can use them for doing farming the right way, which is more regenerative, which is kind of what we want to do. I'm assuming you're in the same mindset. And they'll help that. Well, they'll help you with that. But yes, no, it absolutely comes with strings attached, and it does take time and effort to get them. So, and they don't always grant them. So, yeah.
Do you use fertigation system?
No. So we have the ability to do that with our irrigation system, but we don't use a fertigation system. Might consider it at some point in time for the garden beds.
Yeah.
I think that'd be about the only place I might consider it. Not with the trees.
All right. Thank you for the advice. Keep up the hard work on the farm. Have you thought about growing, is that kudzu as fodder?
Kudzu? I have not. So I know that does, it's a noxious weed, basically, back east. So,
oh, really?
Yeah, I think so. But I haven't tried it. So it'd be interesting to see if we can make something a noxious weed here. Sweet potato is about as close as we get to it.
Oh, my goodness. Those are. Are you fertilizing this weekend?
Oh, gosh, we didn't even say that. Yes, guys, it's September. So Lori, the advantage of having Lori here is she's going to do most of the fertilizing for us again. Yeah. So we could basically do that during the month of September. We try to get it done in the beginning of September. It won't all be done this weekend, no.
No, it's too hot, so I won't want to stay out there too long, but I'll just kind of designate a section that I'll do each day. Yeah.
But yeah, September is fertilizing month for us here in Arizona. If you're doing the 3 times a year fertilizing, this is our last one for the year. This is your fertilizer for the beginning of, this is your bud break fertilizing right now. So a little bit of your fall flush, but it's pretty much your bud break fertilizing. We good?
Thanks for encouraging us to farm here on the edge of nowhere.
Yes.
And then thanks. I think that's it.
Are we good? Awesome, you guys.
So.
Guys, again, it was great to have you guys here.
I have sloping backyard for a mini orchard of 6-foot ring around the tree won't work. What do you suggest? So
if you have heavy sloping, your best bet on heavy sloping is going to be to basically build, what do they call those?
A raised.
Yeah. What do you call those things?
I
didn't get enough sleep last night for it.
Like a retaining.
Yeah, retaining walls. Yeah, but there's a specific, those things that, grade down on a hill. You'll want to have flat spots on that hill, because if not, you're assuming that you're here or in a dry area, you need to have some way to hold that on there. Terracing. That's what I was trying to get at. So you want to do some terracing on that as best you can. I would build that up, terrace it. That way the water can stay on the tree. Terracing would be your friend right there. So swales and berms, you can do kind of the same idea. And then if you're able to plant on the berm, if you can do that, that's another option, but terracing would help. Terrace, yeah.
Yep.
Thanks, Jeff.
Jeff and Charles.
Eventually it starts going.
You got it. All right, guys. High desert is tough. Thanks for the encouragement.
Yeah, absolutely. And good luck with that sloping backyard. That's always a challenge. So, all right, guys, I think we're going to wrap it. If we missed your guys' questions, our email address is on the About tab here on YouTube. So feel free to do that. We have folks that reach out that way all the time. But we need to get to dinner because we got some jalapenos to get into our dinner. All right, guys, it was great seeing you guys today. Well, we don't see them, but see you here. So, but great spending time
with you guys today.
Chatting. But it was great spending time with you guys today. Hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful holiday weekend. And don't forget, fall is coming.